Can India become a superpower without gaining back its cultural identity? Let me give you a historical example. You had something called the Byzantine Empire. A superpower is an empire. Please understand that. It's the same thing. In the 21st century and even the 20th century, we don't use the word empire. That's a bad word. So use a different word. Use the word superpower. It's the same thing. A superpower is an empire. So we had something called the Byzantine Empire, which was the Eastern Roman Empire. Its capital city was Constantinople or Byzantium. Where is it? Do you know where it is? I hope you do. Otherwise, I'll show you. Let me show you where Constantinople was. Where is Google Maps? We were looking at India. Let's go east. Let's go westwards. So Byzantium or Constantinople, which is now known as Istanbul, is over here. It's at the crossroads between Asia and Europe, right? The Strait of Bosphorus. So this is Byzantium. It's now known as Istanbul. So this was the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire or the Byzantine Empire. And this empire was in force for more than 1,000 years. Then what happened? Then the Turks started encroaching on Byzantine territory. And by 1453 or whatever the date is, look it up, right? I don't remember all the dates. So eventually, Sultan Mehmed II conquered Constantinople, right? And they called it Constantiniye in Turkish. And that was the birth of the Ottoman Empire. And then you had other sultans who were greater than Mehmed, and it all culminated with Suleiman the Magnificent. So they built the Ottoman Empire out of the Byzantine Empire. And they called themselves Kaiser Rum, which means the Caesar of Rome. So they considered themselves to be emperors who continued the Byzantine Empire. At least that was the claim, that their empire was a continuation of the Byzantine Empire. So what happened here is that the Ottoman Empire or this region, Anatolia, became a superpower with a completely new cultural identity, a Turkish Islamic identity. It was a Eastern Roman Christian empire which was transformed into a Turkish Islamic caliphate. That's what happened to the Byzantine Empire. It transmogrified into the Ottoman Empire. So the answer is yes, a country can become a superpower in a completely new cultural identity. And therefore, the answer to this question is India can become a superpower without ever gaining back its cultural identity. In the future, you may have a completely different kind of India, which is a superpower. Maybe by 2100, we may have a different kind of India with a totally different cultural identity, and it may be a superpower. It is a possibility. Yes.